Good evening and welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom. As Pakistan makes statements on ending terrorism on its soil once and for all, there is more outrage for India and the families of those who were killed on 26/11, the deadly attacks in Mumbai 6 years ago. Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi, the man behind the operation, is a free man out of jail in Pakistan after a high court set aside an order through which he had been detained. Now there are those in Pakistan who will couch his release in legal terms on how there was due process and how there is a system of law in Pakistan. There are others though who will point out that the so-called system of law in Pakistan has ended up protecting a man responsible for killing 166 on Indian soil. On the show this evening, is Pakistan back to protecting the 26/11 killer Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi? Also coming up on the program, it's now been nearly 2 days since the missing AirAsia Airbus A320 went missing off the coast of Indonesia, and still there is no wreckage which has been found. How is it that we have apps to locate our missing smartphones but can't detect something as large as a missing airliner? On this show this evening, MH370 to AirAsia, why can't we locate missing jetliners? Why is it so difficult? But here's our top story. Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi, the man behind 26/11, is walking free in Pakistan, a country that says that it is determined to weed out terrorists from operating on its soil.
Could the man who guided the 26/11 terrorists during the attacks in Mumbai, the elite Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi, soon walk free? The Islamabad High Court today set aside the order under which he was detained by the government of Pakistan soon after he got bail from an anti-terror court earlier this month. A furious Indian Foreign Secretary summoned Pakistan's High Commissioner Abdul Basit in Delhi, conveying strong concern at the lack of effective action by Pakistan's prosecuting authorities. The Ministry of External Affairs said, "We expect the government of Pakistan to abide by the commitment conveyed to us, including at the highest level, that expeditious steps would be taken to bring all those responsible for the heinous acts of terrorism in Mumbai to justice." The MEA said there seems to be no end in sight to Pakistan remaining a safe haven for well-known terror groups.
This only exposes the doublespeak of Pakistan. The Prime Minister himself had protested on the floor of the Parliament.
After the terrible recent incidents, Pakistan has not learnt the lessons of selective promotion of terrorism.
There are, however, reports that Pakistan may just detain Lakhvi in another case. Pakistani officials are quoted as saying that the LET commander's release would draw flack from the world. Importantly, the government of Pakistan is yet to proceed with appealing against the original bail order for Lakhvi. The anti-terror court gave him bail citing lack of evidence, but before he could be released from jail, the government detained him for 3 more months under the maintenance of public order. That is what Lakhvi challenged at the High Court and won today. In New Delhi with Ketki Angre, Nidhi Razdan for NDTV.
Well, is Pakistan continuing to protect Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi, the man who was responsible for the deaths of 166 people on Indian soil in the 26/11 attacks? Joining us to debate this, Major General retired Rashid Qureshi, the former spokesperson to President Musharraf; Sadia Khan, leader of the PML Nawaz; Vivek Kaju, the former diplomat and a Pakistan expert; Ajay Sani, the executive director of the Institute of Conflict Management. Also joining us, GVL Narasimha Rao, spokesperson of the BJP. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. I'd like to go across to Sadia Khan first. Ma'am, there are many in India who don't believe. All right, I'm told that the Pakistani guests are still to come through. Vivek Kaju, let me come to you first. If ever India needed proof or evidence that Pakistan wasn't taking this seriously, is this now that proof? That look, no matter how many years they keep telling us that they're trying to process this case, at the end of the day nothing will be done.
No, that's precise. That's entirely true, Vishnu. The point here is not the judgments given or the orders given by the anti-terrorist court and the Islamabad High Court today. The point is, why did they give these orders? The orders, both of these orders specify that the prosecution has not been able to produce any solid material or has not been able to process the case in a manner which is needed, and therefore the courts were constrained to give this man bail. That is clear proof, if proof was needed, that the Pakistani approach to the Mumbai attack prosecutions is totally lackadaisical. And the sad part is that the previous government did not draw lessons from this matter. It vacillated. I can only hope that the Modi government, the NDA government, will draw the appropriate lessons and fashion its policies on that basis.
Narasimha Rao, the government has tried its best. It's spoken to the Pakistani High Commissioner. We have expressed our problems, our concerns about what has happened. But beyond that, is there anything that India can do?
I think it was because of the pressure from the government of India, and even directly the Prime Minister also spoke about this issue in Parliament when he was granted bail by an anti-terrorism court in Pakistan. I think it's because of the pressure from the Indian government that he was detained under a different under Maintenance of Public Order Act. But I think after the court ordered today, after the Islamabad High Court cancelled the detention order, I think the government of India has put pressure again on Pakistan, and it is a test case for Pakistan to really show whether they have an iota of sincerity about what they have been speaking about all these days.
Okay, we can go across to Pakistan now. Let's just try and bring in a quick reaction. Sadia Khan, leader of the PMLN. Ma'am, do you believe that Pakistan will now prevent Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi from physically leaving that jail, that you will be able in a position to bring out fresh cases against him, or are we going to see him walk out of jail anytime now?
Listen, first of all, I just want to know one thing. Is it Indian media which will tell and make and formulate Indian foreign policy?
Well, ma'am, Indian media tends to reflect the perspective of the families of the 166 people who died on Indian soil. So if Indian media is reporting this, it is because there is a travesty of justice, ma'am. So don't attack the messenger, ma'am. Answer the question.
You should get my point of view because you asked me. Yes, I am coming to my reply. Pakistan's democratic elected government, Pakistan Army and all the law enforcement agencies in Pakistan, they are under law. It was court decision. And if Mr. Lakhvi was in court and he was under if he was under detention, he was not on accusations by Indian government. He was on his harsh speeches against terrorism in Pakistan.
Ma'am, what about the voice samples that India has sent across?
He was in sentence. He was sentenced in jail for 5 years. Last 5 years
Ma'am, this man is about to walk free. Can I just tell you one thing? And ma'am, you would know it since you've been following it very closely. What exactly did the judge say? Ma'am, what did the judge say when he granted bail in the first place to Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi?
You people are endorsing Pakistan government or Pakistan court. This is not the way.
It is not the way.
Ma'am,
for 6 years we want justice. This is not the way.
You have suspended diplomatic chats. You have suspended diplomatic dialogue.
Ma'am, how has that helped anything?
By proper way, you should.
Ma'am, there is cross-border firing from Pakistan that is happening all the time. There is a terrorist who is going to walk free on your streets again, and you are blaming India again, ma'am.
You people have failed to provide any evidence against him.
You people have failed.
And you people are sitting in media and speaking and accusing him. This is not the way.
In that case, ma'am, why did the Pakistani judge say this?
Diplomatic channel.
It is also an admitted fact that not a single word has been uttered by Mohammed Mumtaz, the witness against Lakhvi. This is what the judge had to say, ma'am, when he granted bail. This is the prosecution witness. He said nothing.
Today, after today's court process, government statement have not appeared yet.
Ma'am, this is not today's process.
Statement on behalf of my government.
Ma'am, he was rearrested.
But I am telling you one thing. But yes, I am telling you one thing. The case which was against him, and he was imprisoned and he was under detention, that case, yeah, obviously we could not get any evidence against him.
Ma'am, why do you think they couldn't get any evidence?
Pakistan government,
we caught a terrorist from Pakistan alive in India, ma'am. His name was Kasab. His accounts were taken, they were given to you. Voice samples were provided to you. The United States has put a $10 million bounty on Zaki-ur-Rehman Lakhvi's head.
You should give evidence against him.
Right. The Pakistani, your agencies investigating this case have told us a year and a half back that yes, the voice samples match.
These people have been cleared by court because unless we will not get any evidence against them, so how can we go against them? He was imprisoned for 5 years.
Ajay Sani, would you like to come in over here?
Accusations.
The point which is mentioned over and over again is that India's evidence is not credible. What is your reading of this?
You see, I find this whole discussion in many ways absurd. You must understand that the 26/11 attack was a Pakistani state project. The perpetrators were trained in Pakistani military and naval camps. Present in the control room was not only Lakhvi, but also officers of the inter-services intelligence. Now, to expect this state abruptly to give you a completely even-handed justice in this case is, I think, naive beyond belief, especially when we are speaking of a country which demonstrates its hostility to India on a daily basis even today. It's not a country that has turned around. It's not a country that has transformed itself. Even today, Pakistan and Pakistani state agencies support and sponsor terrorism on Indian and Afghan soil on a daily basis. Consequently, to expect one of the agencies of the same state to prosecute its own instrumentality, its own sponsored terrorist, its Sarkari jihadi, in good faith, is, I think, the beyond naivety. It is stupidity.
General Qureshi, would you accept that state-sponsored terrorism coming out of Pakistan is a reality, and therefore if India or anybody else wants justice,
why would General
in the true
Qureshi
sense of the
accept
word,
that?
it ain't going to come, bottom line. That we are just chasing a dream. Given what the reality in Pakistan is, we cannot expect serious justice for those who have lost their lives on 26/11. General Qureshi.
I think we are not going logically according to what information or what evidence has been presented. Now, I can understand, first of all, please understand that the terrorism that India in the Mumbai attacks bore is something akin to what Pakistan experienced when these terrorists attacked a school in Peshawar recently. So I can understand the trauma and the horror that you must have gone through. But please do also understand that neither the government and, well, like Sadia was saying, can influence the courts, nor can we or I stand up and say that this is the evidence and this is the decision that the court should have given.
I completely understand that,
The
courts cannot be influenced. They cannot be influenced.
Let me finish. I would love it if every terrorist, honestly, whether he sponsored terrorism in India or has sponsored terrorism in Pakistan or has sponsored terrorism in Afghanistan, to be brought to justice, to be dealt with such a heavy hand that every terrorist in every part of the globe
with all due respect, sir, this is all rhetoric. What you are telling us today is rhetoric, and I'll tell you why, sir. Pakistan has begun the process of executing terrorists.
I am trying to
I understand, sir. I understand
my feelings.
You are trying to be genuine in what you are saying.
Vishnu,
but General, I am only making...
Having said that...
Ambassador Karju, half a second.
Having said that...
General,
if you
are saying that Pakistan wants to fight against terrorism, then you are fighting against terrorists who have killed your own people. Yes, the executions have begun. But then why not justice for those who have killed people in my country?
Exactly. Now let me continue, and I'll come to that part also. Much that I would like as a person, as an individual, to have everyone who has any part to play in any sort of terrorism punished straight away. And frankly, I'm saying something which is going to be cold-blooded. I think even a trial for people who that we know have conducted such things seems to me a tapestry of justice. But if you expect that the government of Pakistan, like Sadia said, or anyone else, to tell the courts, okay, this is the decision that you're going to give.
No, sir, the point is
Frankly,
that the government of
becomes very
Pakistan has
difficult.
not produced evidence which is strong enough. Ambassador Karju, you had a point to make, sir. Go ahead.
Now you see, sir, you are saying that the government of Pakistan has not produced
the judges
evidence.
said so.
If this,
the judges said so.
General, may I have a word edgeways?
General, one moment, sir. I'll come to you. I'll come back to you. Yes, Mr. Karju. Yes, go ahead, sir.
I think the point which the good general is missing completely is not the decisions or the orders given by the Pakistani courts in Lakhvi's matter. It is what kind of prosecution, what kind of evidence collection, what kind of investigation was done by the Pakistani agencies. After all, the conspiracy was hatched in Pakistan. Lakhvi was a prime conspirator. What have the Pakistani investigation agencies, which presumably are under the government or under the military, done in this matter? That is a legitimate question that India can ask. If this is the quality of investigation which the Pakistani agencies have done in this matter, then how come when there are terrorist incidents in Pakistan, they act with the greatest alacrity? This naturally causes deep suspicions in India and deep anger and resentment.